Okay. Think I got this set up right. Hopefully you can hear me. So we're gonna check to see if I can be heard, because that would be a thing. Let's see. Hopefully I can be heard. Can I hear myself? I can! Y'all, I can hear myself. Proud of me. Okay. Now that we got that established, then I think we are good. Okay. Hi. So I've decided that, as well as playing games, I should, I guess, somewhat show the things that I do on a daily basis too, because I make it a thing that um, some people who know me, they know that I teach coding. Now, before you get crazy, before you start saying, "Oh my God, she's a coder. She knows how to do all these things," blah 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 blah. I'm gonna just tell you right now, I don't know everything about coding. I don't know a lot of like the base languages, meaning like I know a little bit around them. I would not call myself like a professional coder, but I know enough that through my experiences of directing multiple centers and learning on my own that I'm able to teach concepts to kids, and I use a couple different platforms. So, one of the platforms that I primarily use that I love to start to teach kids on is Scratch. So, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know anything about Scratch, the website is scratch.mit.edu. It is scratch.mit.edu. It looks a bit like this. I have my kids that have been making stuff in my classes, but yeah, I start with this because it's a great resource. It's block-based coding, so it teaches like the basic concepts for kids to kind of understand. It's a lot kind of like putting together puzzle pieces that I like to describe to my kids and parents, because that way they're able to kind of understand like the connecting of putting things together and then kind of going from there. So this is kind of, I started a brand new file. So after you go to like Scratch, up at the top here, it'll say like create. This is where you would go, and then it pops you into here. So with my students, I use kind of like what I call like a textbook that kind of helps them through it, like how I learned back in school. But I'm just gonna go through this kind of what Scratch is about, kind of some of the fun things you can do, kind of some of my starting beginner lessons that I do with them, and that's kind of what this series will go and become, I guess. So I kind of open it up with my kids. They start with Scratch. This is kind of the layout. So if you look over here on the side, you'll see you have three main tabs. You have your coding tab, your costumes tab, and your sounds. Here, this is Scratchy. I call him Scratchy only because he's technically Sprite 1, but I call him Scratchy because he's like their mascot, and I nicknamed him Scratchy, so every time I say to my kids, get rid of Scratchy, they know come over and use this little X garbage can and get rid of him if he's not going to be in your included game. But the three main tabs that you need to worry about, and I always say to my kids to pay attention to, is your coding tab, which is where all your code's going to happen. Your costumes, which is where you will have different versions of it, and you can make things. You can also draw in this as well. And your sounds tab. Sounds will come in a little bit later on as we get through our lesson. So, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to leave them down below so I can answer them. And if you have any insight, please again feel free to leave them down below. It's a good thing. So, all right, going through your coding tab. Now, your coding tab has a couple of different buttons. I have my coffee. Yes, I'm a teacher. I drink coffee. It's our lifeblood. So, okay. You have your motion blocks, which in Scratch they are blue. So that is one thing that I always tell my kids, pay attention to the colors. Now I know the if you look down here, events, control, and variables look a little bit similar, but I tell my kids that as you work through the program more, you start to learn to identify the different colors, which kind of help you know how to categorize it. So your motion blocks kind of control how your sprite, or as an adult term, you would say an asset, which is kind of in this case, the object or character that will hold the code and perform whatever you want it to do. Basically, a computer or the program here will not do anything that you don't tell it to do. That's the whole purpose of coding. You're going to tell the computer what you want it to do in the most efficient way, and it's going to end up doing it for you. Now, there's a lot of things in between that can go right and wrong, but you learn as you go, and that's what I tell the kids. You practice, and you practice, and you get better. All right. So, just making sure we're good. All right. So, motion blocks. Again, this is how you will get the object to move. So, for example, we have our sprite here. I don't like his name being sprite 1. I'm going to rename him. And so, if you want to go and rename your sprite or your character, you can move him around in this space, but that won't affect anything in the code. Now, I will teach you how to use code to affect how he moves in this space, and I'll go through a couple of different things about the plane that he lives in. So right here, you'll see it says sprite. Also, as adults, for kids, I love that they use the word sprite. For adults, we use the word to asset. Of course, kids are children, so when you say asset, what are they gonna want to pick from that? Asset. So I teach the kids in the very beginning. There are different names for it. As you get older, it's this terminology most commonly used. But for the sake of this, we're calling it a sprite. So when I say sprite, I mean the asset. Just letting you know. All right. So now that we have that, okay. So we got sprite. So if you come over here to where it says sprite 1, you can erase, and I'm gonna name him Scratchy, because that's where I want. Now, if you look over here to the right, you'll see an X and you'll see a Y. Hopefully, if I can look at my screen, you can see my pointers. Yes, you can. Good. Now, I teach my kids something to kind of help them remember on the coordinate plane. If you don't remember coordinate planes, you can remember like the number line, how it goes from 0 to a certain number. Same thing. The point of origin on a number line is going to be 0, 0. Now, you have an x-axis and you have a y-axis. X goes left and right. Positive or negative, depends on which way you want it to move. Now, y goes up and down. The way that I get my kids to remember that is by this. I always tell my students, even though to adults it might not make sense, but in their brain it helps them. Extra long hot dog, yo, yo. And I make them do that and memorize that. Now, do I know extra, the word starts with an E? Yes. But the letter that they hear is X. That's why I'm trying to get them to remember extra long hot dog. A hot dog goes left and right, right? It's long, so left and right. Extra long hot dog. Yo, yo goes up and down. So that's one of the things that my kids will do and say they'll sing extra long hot dog, yo, yo. And that's just a way that I kind of stick it into their brain so that they kind of remember it. You'll learn through the series if you don't know me, but my background's in music. So I like to put songs or melodies or little like ditties to things for some reason. It helps stick in their brain. And if it's going to stick in their brain, I'm going to take it every single time. All right. So you got Scratchy. You have the X. Right now he's at -1 and 1. But if I want to put him on the point of origin, which is 0, 0, I would just put 0 and 0, and that puts him dead set on the point of origin. That means he's directly in the middle of the coordinate plane, directly in the middle of the screen. Okay, got it. Now, if you look down, we have a couple different things too. You got to pay attention to this box over here. So you have your show, and then you have hide. Uh-oh. Where'd he go? Uh-oh. He's there. Uh-oh. He's hidden. So if this button is clicked, you won't see him. Now, he's still there, but you don't see him. Remember that. When you click show, he'll see there. He'll be right there. Remember that because there are pieces that we use in our coding blocks that allow you to show and hide different things. That is important because I've had too many students who will make something hide and then they'll come to me and say, Miss Kris, I can't find it. It's not appearing at the beginning of the game. And I'll go, did you tell it that when the green flag starts, you want it to show? And they're like, oh. Again, the computer will not do what you don't tell it to do. Just saying. Okay, so we got show and hide. Now let's talk about size right here. Okay, size changes how big the character is. Now, Scratchy is 100 right now. Let's see, if I made him 50, oh, he got smaller. Now, if I take Scratchy, I make him 200. Oh, he's a big boy now, right? He's big. Size is really cool because it helps the kids kind of understand the size of how big a sprite is on the screen. Because sometimes you'll have like a story game that we're making, or you'll want it to fit in a scene a certain way. If he's at 200, he's kind of big. He's not going to look right. So a lot of the times, I tell my kids, you got to play with size. And then also, sometimes you're going to have to set the size, and then you have to also change it. So you got to be mindful. As we work on more games or more projects, you will see these things come up. And I'll explain them as we go along. All right, then you got the direction. Direction is how they are turned. Right now, Scratchy is looking left. If I want him to turn, I'm just going to spin this, or I can type in a direction. Now you see the negatives popping up. So -81, and then you see a +85, right? Now right now he's at 92. I don't like that. He needs to be at 90 degrees, because that's where I like him out. Perfect. So now we're going over this box. Let's look at stage before we go back to motion. Because now that I've shown you this part, then I'm going to show you how motion comes into play. So you have stage. Your stage is your backdrop. Now, keep in mind, when I click over here, Scratchy, see how it turns purple? Also, did you see that things changed? I'll do it one more time, just to make sure that you got it. Okay. Stage. My motion blocks. Oh, it says motion stage selected, no motion blocks. Because motion doesn't work in the stage. Okay? Now, there are ways to change the stage and things of that nature, but that has to be done through either different broadcasts or different backdrop switch, but we'll get to that. But I just wanted you to keep in mind because I cannot tell you how many times I have kids who go, Miss Kris, where are the blue motion blocks? And you know what I say to them? Did you click the sprite or are you in the background? And where are they normally? Just like this, looking dumb at me. Just, I don't know. I don't see the blue motion blocks. Again, are you in the sprite or are you in the backdrop stage? These are questions. I ask questions because I want my students to understand. Think about what you're asking of me and think if you can find a solution because I want to encourage them to learn. So, usually they're in the stage. So, The way that here, you'll see as we go a little further down. In the stage, you'll see that right now it is blank, right? The backdrop's blank. It says backdrop's 1. White screen, nothing going on. It is what it is, right? Now, you see this little purple button here? When I go kind of go over it, well, I'll go away, but you see the little purple, looks like a little picture with a little plus sign. When I say a landscape or a picture, a photo picture with a plus sign, I'm referring to going to backdrops. Now here, if you scroll over it, you can choose different backdrops. You can choose them from their library that they've already made. There is a paint tool. You can have a surprise, and you can even upload your own backdrops. So a lot of times I'll have my kids choose a backdrop, and they'll come here, and this takes you to the library. Now this library is great. My kids use it all the time. Let's see, now we're in the starting stage of one of our classes, and I want them to get comfortable because there are so many different things. Now these are all the backdrops here, but what I love is up here you can search, and there are also different categories. So there's like fantasy, music, sports, outdoors, indoors, space, underwater, and different patterns, right? Now, if we go back, we can see we're still here at a white screen. We'll eventually change our backdrop later when we make something. But just want to show you there's different things. If you want to go to paint, you click paint and it'll take you to, oh, see our 3 tabs at the top changed. Pay attention, stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay? Our backdrop changed. So if I go into the backdrop here, like backdrop 2, I can go and use some of these different buttons here that will allow me to change it. Hell, you see this little rectal here in the middle? Because that's what they call it. Rectal. Is it rectal? Is that what I'm thinking of? Because I keep thinking of, I'm thinking of this different, I'm sorry, I'm playing way too much Call of Duty, but I'm thinking of a different scope. But anyway, so this point of origin, we'll just say, just to make sure I remember it correctly. But this is where 00 will lie. Same as where Scratchy is over here. So if I draw anything, just say I use a paintbrush. I'm just going to draw. Oh, look at that. Things have changed. Now, get rid of that for now. And we can go and see our different backdrops, right? Cool. We'll switch back to code for now. Again, we're in the stage, so there's no motion blocks. Now, let's get to a little bit of action. Let's show you what Scratch can do. So, here's Scratchy. He's chilling. He's being a man. We love that for him, right? Now he has his move, or his motion blocks, as well as some of the others that we have here. You'll see that there are different colors, and they all go down, and you can get to all of them through scrolling, right? But this helps you kind of select them a bit faster. So, now that we're here at Scratchy, Scratchy can be accompanied by other friends. He can also be changed. The way that I change him would be this. So when I teach the kids about Scratchy, I show them too that when I say go to Scratchy's face, this is the sprite library. So here, this little purple down here, if you just roll over it, it's the sprite category. So you can choose a sprite here. They have all different, and I love that they're very inclusive with all different things. Again, you got animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, and letters. Now, letters is one of the first lessons that I teach my kids. I love it because it shows them a little bit of how the different sprites can be interacted with and what they can do. And it's a good opening lesson. And they love to see their name dance around and do different things. We love that for them. Now, if I click back, we'll keep Scratchy for a little bit of time. Now, I'm going to make him do a couple things. Let's see what he can do. Let's play with Scratchy. Now, motion block. If you want something to be done again, you have to put it in the code space. So when I say code space, I'm referring to this middle white area. This is the viewer where you can see what your code is doing, and this is the coding space. So I always tell my kids, when you take a block, make sure you put it not over here, but in the coding space. Because see, when I laid it over here, It tried to put it in the stage, which is not correct. You want to put it in the code space, okay? Now, one thing to keep in mind, you see a little tiny baby's cat up here, right? And we have him, which is amazing. We love that. Oh, I know why, because I clicked that. Put it back at 90. Now, if you look at Scratchy right here, if you always look at the top right corner, it will tell, excuse me, it will tell you what which sprite, let me keep using that word, which sprite you are using. Okay, so you see Scratchy. If I had another one over here, for example, I'll put in an apple. The apple appears when we clicked here. The apple's here. See? Go to Scratchy. Scratchy's in the top right. You go to Apple. Apple's in the top right. Okay? Perfect. Now you know. That's the way. And you just click the little trash can, and that's the way you get rid of any sprites you don't want. Alright. Now, motion blocks make your sprite move or perform whatever function you want it to perform. So, in this case, the first thing that you have to do is that an event has to be triggered. This event is like the start button. I like to explain to my kids. It's how the entire program, like when you click a game and you click the go, this is what it runs, a series of events, and that's what starts the game and starts whatever program you're going to do. So when green flag is clicked, this is one of the first blocks. You're going to pick it up and drag it into the coding space. This block is so important because this is the on start, when pressed, program start way of Scratch saying when you click this little green. So if you look over the viewer, there's a little green arrow. Look at that. Green arrow, green arrow. Catch it. Okay, catch it. And there's a little red stop button. So that means if your program is running, this will stop it. Okay? Now, when green flag is clicked, again, that's your start. You also have some other events buttons or blocks in this case that help. You have like when a key is pressed, so you can change your different keys that you want. You have when the sprite is clicked. You have when the backdrop switches, when you have a certain loudness, or when a timer goes. When you receive a message, that's when we get to broadcast. Different messages that then turn into a broadcast. All different events that can be started from our events tab. So when green flag is clicked, that's how we're going to start our thing off. So this is what Scratchy is going to do. When I press that green flag, this is what Scratchy is going to do. Okay? Here we go. So motion blocks here. Say for example, I want Scratchy to move. Right? Now, remember we talked about our X and our Y, right? Dang, it's windy outside. Jeez Louise. Now, say I want him when the program starts. Say I want Scratchy to always start at the point of origin. No matter where I move him, he can be up here. I want him to always go to the point of origin. The way that I'm going to start, and this is a trick that I teach my kids to put into their programs because I cannot tell you how many times they mess this up. And I'm always like, just give yourself a little bit of a backup or an assurance, something that's going to keep your mental in check because they'll move everything around. So if you put this block, this is go to X and Y, right? Say I want the port origin, I'm going to put 0, and I'm going to put 0. So when I click that green flag, no matter where I move him, I click that flag, he's there. Right? Now the thing about coding is that it's going to run line by line, from top to bottom. So whatever you put at the top, it's going to run first and go down. It's not going to go bottom up, middle, out. It's going to go top to bottom. Now, there are some times when we get to our what I call the C block, things could change. But for our basics, we're just starting here. So say I want him to go, he's going to go to 0, 0. no matter where I move him. Now, say I wanted him to glide. Now, if you look over here at the glide buttons, you have glide 1 second around in position, you have glide 1 second, and it has an X and a Y. Now, say I want him to glide, I want him to go from here, I want him to go over here. Now, my X is 176 and my Y is 2. Now, if I want him to stay on the same line, I'll just change that to 0, my Y. I'm sorry. If I want my Y, if I want him to stay on the same line, he's going to go Y. Okay, so that means he's always going to stay where he is. But his X is going to go left and right. If I choose negative 176 and I click this, boom, he glides. Now, you'll notice when I click that green flag, watch the code here. Watch what happens. You see the yellow that comes up around it? That's kind of a way to kind of let the kids know that the code is running. So not like, oh my god, what happened? Like, this is the section of code that is running. And this will show up. And all of the different sprites that they use. So he glides here. Boom. Now, he does little glides to the left. Now we want him to do what? Glide to the right. Now see, I have 2 sections of code here. Because I didn't click the right spot, it ran it. See, if I just click on here, it'll run it. If I click directly here, it'll change. So say I want then to go back to 0. I just put a 0 in that place, and he's going to glide to the left, glide to the right. Crisscross. So, he glides left, he glides back to where he was stationed. This is now a little bit of movement of using the glide. Now, say I want him to go to an exact point for when he comes back. Say I want him to go here. Now, if we look over, my go to X has changed, my Y has changed. Now, I can have him glide there, or I can have him directly move there. So I'm going to put a go to X, and I want him to go there. And then after that, I want him to go right back. So I'm going to take that block and put it right under. And I'm going to put my point of origin, which is 0, 0. So you're going to glide left, come back right. Scratchy, where'd you go? Oh, I know why. All right. Did I put X? Hold on. Now with coding, things happen. It's just what happens. I think because he was out of the glide, he didn't know what to do. Now, here's how we fix that. What we can do is go to control. Right? Now, say he gets confused. I can make him wait a second. And then I can make him do this. Because it's so fast. That's why. So I'm going to make him wait a second. He's going to go there. He's going to wait. Then he's going to go back. Let's see if that fixes anything. He changes now. Now, when we did it the first time without adding in the wait blocks, right? The program runs so fast that we didn't even see him move because he goes right back to 0, 0. We have to allow it time to see because it's running that quickly. Because it only takes 1 second for him to glide there, glide back, and then immediately the next code is that he's supposed to go there and then go back to 0, 0. It happens that quickly. So we added in a wait block, which we get out of our control area. Okay, our controls. Now, you'll see these little like bag kind of clips. I call these C blocks. They kind of work as loops in a way. Some of them do. For example, you have the repeat and you have a forever, right? Now, when you're writing code, you're writing it line by line, right? So what I it kind of explained to the kids is that as you're running it line by line, say that I want him to do an action 4 times, right? I'm gonna have to write each line 4 times. Cool. Now say I want him to do it like 20 times. I'm gonna have to write it 20 times. That's not the most efficient way we can write code. Because if you're dealing with syntax, and syntax is kind of the lettering of the wording of how the language is, mistakes can be made, right? Can be ran really fast. Now, if you put it in a loop or a repeat, in this case, then you can tell it to repeat whatever is inside that, what I call the C block, or the cookie, whatever's in the filling inside the cookie, it will then do. So, for example, say I want him to repeat this little dance move. I want him to do it 3 times. So I'm going to take this and add a 3. Now, the really lucky thing I love about it is that this can kind of click. Now, if we're looking here, see that little gray box that pops up kind of around? I'll do it again so you can see it. See the gray? If I drop that into the gray, boom, everything's gone. Now I can also take this entire section out and put it to the side, and I can take it apart. Now, say you just want one piece, it's going to take this apart, so you have to take apart the puzzle pieces. But if you see here, the little gray pops up, boom, right in the hole. Now, Scratchy, let me see you dance, and do it for me 3 times, please. Go. Ooh. Boom, boom. Oh, and there he goes. See that repeat? Boom, boom. And again, here. Boom, boom. Now, we just told that to repeat 3 times. See, after he did the 3 times, he stopped? That's it. So instead of writing that code over 3 identical times, we just added the repeat, or my little C block I call him. And guess what? He did it. Less code, more efficient. He's ready to go. Now, say you want him to do it. I just want him to dance forever. I don't want him. And if you throw it over there, that gets rid of it. If you throw anything over here and just let go, it dissipates it. Say I want him to dance like that forever. So I go and I throw this in the middle. Watch him do his little jig. He's going to keep doing it. He's not going to stop anytime soon. And the reason why he's not stopping is because I didn't tell him to. I told Scratchy, hey, when I click that green flag, you're going to do this forever. Okay? Okay. That's what I said to him. I said, do it forever. That's what I need you to do. Okay? And so, what is he going to do? He does it forever. And we love that for him. It's great, and he loves that. All right. So now that Scratchy is over there cutting a rug, oh, because that's what he does. Okay? While he's over there cutting his rug, I'm going to press this red stop sign. This red stop sign stops the program. Okay? Stops it, so he's not cutting his rug anymore. And he's good. Now, hopefully you've seen a little bit of what our C blocker forever does, our little jig does, and you can see a little bit about the event blocks. Now, let's go to a couple other event blocks. Now, we've done that. We'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that too. Now, say I want him to turn, right? I want him just drop down and get his eagle on, because he feels like it. I'm going to have him turn a certain many degrees. So, if I click this, he turns. And he turns, and he turns, and he turns, and he turns. But I have to do this each time I have to click this. The way that I could change it, say I want to do where I click Scratchy. I go to my events blocks. I'm going to click when the sprite is clicked. And I'm going to have that turn 15 degrees. Now, I put these side by side just so you can see the difference. Okay? So now when I click him, he's going to spin. I don't got to click. It automatically will run the program because I've clicked him. He's going to spin around and keep it sexy. Now, if I want him to keep spinning, I'm just going to put a forever block on him and just make him spin like he's at the disco. Okay? So he's just going to keep on spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. That's what Scratchy's going to do. Now, he's making me dizzy, so we're going to stop him. Because I'm dizzy. I don't know about you. Okay? I'm dizzy watching this cat spin on a dime. Okay? And that's what I would do to make him keep spinning forever. Now, a couple other event blocks we can play is that when space is pressed, or when a key is pressed. For this instance, we will use space. If I press my spacebar, now he spins. Now, this is picking up that I'm using my keyboard, and he is spinning. We love that for him. Okay. We can also have him turn and do a little. Where is it? Oh, now let's look at a problem here. It doesn't know what to do because I'm telling it to turn 15, but then turn back. So what can I do in the meantime to make sure that it has this time to understand what I want to do? He goes up, oh, front, back. He's about to do a lot. Scratchy about to do a line dance. Y'all don't even know. Okay, he's about to do a whole line dance, and I love that for him. Now, we're gonna talk about. Where's my last one I want to show everybody? Ah, I know. What is it? One more I want to show you before we move to the next one. Ah, here we go. So when key is pressed, here we go. I'm gonna get rid of these. We don't need that right now. We're also gonna get rid of green flag, and we're gonna get rid of when sprite is clicked, just so we have a clean space. So when key is pressed. Now, I tell my kids this because they don't listen to me sometimes. And then they say, well, how can I make a move around with the arrow keys, Miss Kris? I want to make a move around with the arrow keys. How can I do that, Miss Kris? Like, how can I do? Hold your horses, young one. I got you. Now, when the key is pressed, when up is pressed, I want him to move up. Okay? And then when down is pressed, oh, quick thing I'll show you. If you right click on it, you can duplicate anything you want, right? And I'm just going to change this. Can duplicate the one you right clicked on. So now I have a when up is pressed, when down is pressed. Okay? So when up is arrow is pressed, when I press the up arrow, right now I'm pressing up, nothing happens. You see, nothing's happening. We have to change. See if you can figure it out before I say it. Do we have to change the extra long hot dog or the yo yo? I'll give you a minute. Extra long hot dog yo yo. All right. Hopefully you got it by now. We have to change the y. Okay? Now, the y going up is positive, but going down is negative. So when we go up, we change the y by positive 10. When we go down, we're going to change it by -10. So now when I press up, he goes up. When I press down, he goes down. Now we're going to change him going left and right. So I'm going to go to events. I'll grab a when space is pressed, just so we have a fresh one. I'm going to copy it or duplicate it. Put it right there. We're going to make him go left and right. Okay, a little shimmy, shimmy, shake, shake. We're going to go back to motion. Now we got to change the X. So when you are going to go to the right, you change by +10. When you want to go left, it's going to be, hopefully you remembered it, -10. I like to put these kind of near each other, that way you kind of remember left and right. So now if I press the left key, he goes backwards. If I press the right key, he goes forward. If I press up, he goes up. If I press down, he goes down. So now we have full movement of Scratchy. So we want the character in the game to move. That's how we set up basic controls for a character or a sprite. So now Scratchy has some movement. We love that for him. He's the guy. He's the man. Okay? We love that. Alright. Let's see. That's one of the last things I want to change or show you tonight. Let's take Scratchy. Let's take him somewhere. Let's give him somewhere to look at. So we're going to go to backdrops. And we are going to take him. Let's see. What looks like a good one? Let's take him to the soccer field. Let's make him a goalie today. Okay? So Scratchy is a goalie. Now I've moved him right here in the center of the goal that I like. And that means in my motion blocks, I have a go-to for an X and a Y already set for me. Now, because I want to make sure he stays there every time I start the game, what am I going to do? I'm going to grab me an event block. And I'm going to put it that his X and Y is set. So no matter where I move him, boom, he goes to the goal. So now Scratchy can go, woo, defend the goal. Woo, defend the goal. Very good. So now he goes back and forth. Hello there. Hi, guys. So, yeah, no, I mean, we could make a full game, but I was just doing a little basic lesson, teaching everybody kind of what I do for work, too, at times. Well, one thing, I teach all the time, but I also teach coding classes, too. And that's what my background I did a little bit. Like, I already gave my disclaimer. Ooh, RPG Maker. I should try that because I want to find some other new programs for my kids. But I use Scratch as one of my primaries, and then I also use like Microsoft MakeCode Arcade, which is something we'll get into as well in our series. But we're just doing a basic Scratch lesson tonight and everything. But since we have it, I mean, I guess we can make Scratchy do something fun. So we have our movement, our left, right, and then we also have it that Scratchy can move up and down, right? Let me see, come downfield, he can go upfield, he can go anywhere, right? So now we got Scratchy. Time to see, and let's add in a new element. Now we're gonna add in a. I think they have one. A soccer ball. They do have it. Yes, the soccer ball. Here's the soccer ball. Now, for the soccer ball, when it starts, we want it to start down here, right? So we're going to set it. We're going to do a when green flag is clicked. We're going to set its start position, okay? Because I love to set a start position. That the way I just love to do it, it makes me feel better. Okay? This makes me feel better. Now, I want the soccer ball to glide to random positions. Let's see what happens when I do that. Now, we see that it just did it that one time, right? So if I want to make it do it over and over again, what do I have to do? Add my little C block forever. So now it's going to glide everywhere. Perfect. Just like I want it to do. So now the soccer ball, he's gliding everywhere. Time to take it up a notch. We're going to learn about variables today too. Very good. Okay, I want to do variables. Now, I'm going to make a variable. And to explain variables, this is how I kind of explain it to kids, right? So, the way that the variable works in my head for them is that basically it's a container or a name for information. And the information will always be there, but the amount of it can change. So, the way that I explain it to my students is that I tell them to think about school, right? When you go to a school, there's always teachers and there are students, right? And they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, okay, are there will always be teachers, there will always be students. Is every teacher always there every single day at school? And they're like, no, sometimes my teacher's out. I'm like, yeah. So the number of teachers will change, but there's always teachers, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, and students, I'm like, is every student there every single day? And they're like, no, people miss, of course. So, but there will always be students, right? Got it. So basically, the variable is holding, or it's the container for information that's holding the code, or in this case, what will be our score. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a variable. We're gonna name it score. This is gonna be for all sprites. So this score, and then if you click this little box inside, it hides the score. But the kids love to see the score when they make a game. They love it. They eat it up. So now we gotta get into. Ooh, where do I want to take it? How do I want to do this? Okay. So we see this little C block, right? It says if then. I love to explain the if then this way. If whatever happens in this space, then you do what's on the inside of the cookie. Now, you will see underneath, there's another one here, a little 3 one. Same concept applies. If whatever happens in this box, then do this. If that doesn't happen, then else is you do that. Another concept. That's the way I explain it. Like, if Miss Kris says she wants a cookie, then bring Miss Kris a cookie. If Miss Kris wants a cookie, if there are no cookies, then find Miss Kris a piece of cake. Else, don't give her anything. Or I usually do it that if when I'm in person with them too, I'll use a reference. I'll go stand like in a doorway and be like, if I want to walk into a doorway, or if you tell me to walk into a doorway, then I will walk into the door. Else, I will stay outside of the door. So let's see. All right. So now we're doing the if then. How do I want to do that? So we have the ball. The ball is moving around. Okay. Now, so we learned about that block. We're gonna put this in Scratchy's code. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna add a new when green flag is clicked here, and I'm gonna grab that control block of the if then. So that means when the game is in action. We're gonna go to sensing. Okay. So if Scratchy, keep in mind, if Scratchy is touching, and we're going to say touching something, and for this case, we're going to use the soccer ball. So we're going to put that right in there. Boop. So if Scratchy touches the soccer ball, then this is what I put inside the little cookie, the cream inside the cookie here. This is what I'm going to tell it I want it to do. Then we're going to go to our variables. Okay. I'm going to want to change my variable by 1. Now, I can't just use it as my variable because the computer doesn't know what my variable means. But it does know what score means. So I have to make sure I change it. And then also, because I have the when green flag is clicked, I'll put it down here so you guys can see it. I'm going to also just, these are like my little backups, my backup row I call it. I'm going to set my variable to 0. So each time the game starts, it will start the score here. It'll start at 0, meaning that it won't just keep adding the score even if you press stop. It'll reset to 0. Now, if I touch the soccer ball, I'm going to change the score by 1. Okay? Now, what I like to do with my kids, because sometimes I get a little crazy, I always tell them that after that was really good to do is to add a wait block after. I'm streaming right now. The garbage cans? Okay, so now you want me to go out and get the garbage cans? Okay, all right. I'm gonna do it in just a second. Can I finish my stream, please? He being only child. Anyway, now wait 1 second because if you doesn't wait 1 second, it's going to just be like and ring up the score. I like to make it fun for my kids. You'll see a little sound over here. Now we talked about our sound in our 3 tabs up front, but I like to talk about sound here. We're gonna play a sound. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to go to our sounds tabs here, and we're going to see our little purple button at the bottom here. We're going to choose a sound. Now, I want a little go. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh my god, it's loud. Hopefully it wasn't that loud for y'all. Now, that is long. So, I usually like a shorter one. I like pop. It's one of my favorites. And pop's great. So, it's going to make, I'm going to add that of start sound, of play sound until done. So I'm going to put this into my when green flag is clicked. So that basically when we start the game, it should play the sound and then wait. And then it should do that. Let's see. Mm. Aha. Wait a minute. Where did it do? The scratches in its way. Oh, do I want it to? Hold on, hold on. Hold on, disconnect them. Because I didn't play the sound. And I think it's because it have to be thrown in a forever block. Perfect, that's what it is. Forever. I think it's that. Aha! There it was. I knew I'd forgotten one block. Perfect. So, if you don't put it in the forever block, it won't constantly do it. So now here's Scratchy, going everywhere. Oop, trying to catch it. Catch the ball, Scratchy. And it pops. And he's trying to get it. It's like he's kicking the ball. Don't let it go in the goal. Boom. So as you can see here, it's going to add to it. Now, there's ways that you can add a game over screen. For example, what I will put then is that we're going to add and make our own sprite. So we're going to go to Paint, which is over here, and we're going to go to Text. And it's gonna, I'm going to type you win. Okay. And now that I've typed you win, I can take this here. I'm going to make it big because the kids get mad hyped. I'm going to put it right here by my point of origin. Here. And I'm going to leave this. So my sprite says you win. Now, in here, what I'm going to make sure I do is I'm going to have my events that when the green flag is clicked, remember we talked about show and hide in the beginning? Hide. I don't want this sprite to show the whole game because it makes no sense. Okay? Makes no sense to have it. So when the game starts, I'm going to go to my looks and I'm going to go down to hide because I want this to hide. Now, I'm also going to take a show out just because we're going to need it. But I'm going to have it. It hides at first. So when the game starts, you don't see it. Okay? Now, what I'm going to have open that, I'm going to use a last one of my if then. And then I'm going to go to my operators. Now, operators kind of like how you add in the kind of math use in the block. So, using the operator that if my score equals 10, I'm going to change that to 10, then whatever happens, I'm going to put in here. I want that then to happen. So when my score equals 10, now get to score, you're going to go to variables. You're going to grab this score, just click it, pull it. So when my score equals 10, or my variable equals 10, I want this to show. I want then it to applause. I'm going to play a sound. I'm going to go to my sounds. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to clapping, I guess. We'll get clapping out. We'll go back to code. I'm going to play clouds until done. And then you got to find one of the favorite ones. Under control is the stop all. Now you can stop different scripts, but we're going to stop all the scripts. Okay, it's going to stop all. So let's see what happens. Let's see if Scratchy stops. Okay, let's get to 10 here. Oh, maybe if I move my mouse, that would work. Come here. Come here, ball. Come here. Close. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Come here. Two more. One more. show. Ah, I know what I did. We're going to use. Did I add a stop all to that? No, I didn't add that stop all. We're going to add. Where is it? Put a 10. Stop all. That's right. It might go into Scratchy. Hold on. I hate when I don't have my textbook in front of me. Oh. It might be. Oh, 1 equals 10. Oh, it is equal 10. Hmm. Let's see. Let's play around. Cause I know it's that if it equals 10. See, I might want to put. If score equals 10, then. Why didn't you want to work today? No, that's not what I want. Maybe it's in Scratchy. Green flag is clicked. Want to hide that sprite. Show. Oh, I know why. The clapping. That might be why, too. Okay, hold on. If score. Where are you going?
Those things are making noise out there. I don't want them to blow on that guy's property. I don't want it to. One of those is a bath one that we need that. That's expensive. That's $500-600.
Oh my god.
That's why I didn't put the garbage out.
Alright, you want me to go do it now?
We may both have to do it. I don't know.
Anyway. Alright, so we got that. Was that what I thought it was because of this? Let's try it. I'm gonna have to put the sound in another one. Uh, Come on, Scratchy. Catch the ball. Come here. 10. Where's the stop ball gotta go again? Even? No, not spray. I want touching soccer ball. Let's see. Let's add it as that script too. I don't want to hide. I want this part. Duplicate. Alright, then you can also pull and drag it here. If score equals 10. No! Did it go? Oh. Hold on. Duplicate. Get that to Scratchy. No, why are you... Ah. Okay, put that down. And then drag it to Scratchy. Got it. Here it is. Hmm. Maybe that has to go in a forever block. Let's see if that's what the fix was. No. Then don't show. Stop all. And then we're going to play it the sound. Let's see if that fixes it. Mm, nope. Oh, I gotta go get in this one. Clapping. Clapping. Okay, go back to code. Okay. Let's see if that's the fix I'm looking for. Oh my god, Scratchy, come on. There he is. Come here. Come here. Come here to me. Come here to me. No. Come here. Hmm. What did you do? Oh. I know what it was. We forgot. Alright, we're not gonna make it 10. We're just gonna make it 2 so I can see if it works. Scratchy, if you don't move like I. Come here. Do I not have the volume on? It's playing. Maybe this one. Alright, see again. Come on, Scratchy. Ah, oh, so that's why it feels like it was a delay. Alright, so now we know we can take out the play one sound, because I mean, wait 1 second, because I don't want that anymore. And then we average to 10. So to make it easy, I'll make this 5. And then I don't know what just happened, but hello there. VR just for you, but actually, that'd be great. Alright, so we made that 5. We're taking out the weight block. And then I don't want that anymore. I gotta make that 5 now. There it is. Had to put it in Scratchy, not in that sprite. Because you are moving with Scratchy. So, makes most sense. Alright, so now we go to 5. Let's see if she works. Oh my gosh, if I do this one more time. Come here, ball. Come here. Come here. Come here. One more, one more. So you just not gonna show, or you just don't. Oh, what is this? Oh, when I copied it. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's a lot going on here. And the score is greater than 5. Is that gonna fix you? See if that fixes it. Come on. Keep going. Come here. Oh, how'd I miss it? Come. Oh, I know what it was. Don't tell me. Don't tell me it was that simple. Also stupid. I knew it. I think I knew. What is it doing? Why have you forsaken me, game? Yeah, why do you hate me? Oh, wrong place. No, no, stop. Okay. Now I think I put it in the right order. Mm, where did you go? This one. Where is it? Just right click. Sound. No. I thought it was gonna be forever. I want to hide. Stop it. Put the stop all here. Hide. Hmm. Why is it being weird now? Hold on. I want. Looking for I want you to hide. And then score equals 5. I know what it is. I chose the wrong one. Okay, let's see. No, computer, stop doing that to me. I hate when it does this. Hold on. Alright. No. Stop. Come here. Hmm. Looks. Shoe. Front layer. I have to wait 2 seconds. The way we have to play with this is annoying. Don't tell me I fixed it. Come here. Let's check it. Why isn't it showing? You win. Code. Hide. Then. No, stop. Can you stop? Alright. I tried. I tried with you. Never mind. Let's just do this. So wait 2 seconds. that gonna fix you? Is it because you don't have a weight in front of you? Oh wait. Okay. Well, Scratchy will find himself. Why do you hate me? And I know it's something simple, and this is why I'm missing it. I know it is. Why would you do this? No. Try again. Come back. Come back. Damn it, it moves so fast. Come back. Aha. Aha, I caught you. There it is. Wait until. Not an if then. The if then is going to be put in Scratchy. The wait until gets put in that sprite. Alright, well, now we know. Well, let's look at our code now that we've taken all the time in the world to fix it. Because I decided to make a soccer game on the fly. So if you look at Scratchy's code, he has the code for the arrow keys up, down, left, and right and left. Then his green flags. My preset ones, I have his where he starts and his score. Then I have the when green flag is clicked in the forever loop. I have if it's touching the soccer ball, then play the pop sound, change the score by 1, and wait 1 second. And then I have an if then, so if the score equals 5, then play clapping sound until done, and then stop ball. And the soccer ball, I have the code. When green flag is clicked, you're going to go to your start location and forever going to glide around. 1 second to a random position. And this sprite, the you win screen, has this thing that when green flag is clicked, it hides, then it's going to wait until the score equals 5. It's going to wait a second, it's going to show, and then it's going to wait for 2 more seconds. And that gives enough time for the program to stop. So, hopefully I got all this code right. Finally, let's see if this works. One final time. Come on, you're right there, you're right there, you're right there. Very good. Alright, very good. So now we have a basic little soccer game. So usually we have the textbook. It's up. The kids can see it, so it makes it very clear which code they're going to be doing. They're not kind of moving on the fly. We do sometimes make games on the fly, but that's when they get to more of an advanced level, when they get to really know the blocks better, and they've practiced it in enough games so that repetition is kind of like set in for them. And that then is kind of a class where we really are troubleshooting all of the different problems that can occur. Like what happens when you use the wrong block, like I did. You're not paying attention. So you're like, okay, instead I have to use this language in order to get it to perform the way I want it to. Because I'm speaking to it in language, but not the correct way that it needs to understand what I want it to do. Because I kept saying, if it turns there, but I'm saying I want you to basically pay attention and wait until you see that variable score turn to 5, then this is what I want you to do. Not if when it happens, but wait until. So we'll take certain concepts like we built a game once where it was like a Pokemon style game, but it was like I had like hunt for pieces of like gears in order to put them into a generator to then unlock levels. We've had some crazy games that I've made over the years. But it was fun and a lot of different games these kids can do. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been a good time. I'll do more coding stuff, but just kind of wanted to like refresh and remember what was going on. Oh wait, the mic a bit louder. Let's see. Let's see. Is that louder on your end? All right, I made it a little bit louder on the Streamlabs. I just didn't want to get like too loud and then like that. But I'm also not screaming like normally, so it's pretty good. So we're good. Oh. Oh, you guys are about to stream? You guys are doing some things? All right, that's cool. All right, I want to see who any of my friends are they streaming right now? Who's else? Anybody else live? Any of my friends? Any of my friends live? If so, tell me now. Is anybody else live? I don't think so. Oh Lord, not that man. All right, well, we've done a good stream. Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully my mic's better. We're getting better and we're fixing it because I want to get used to learning how to do the setup on this computer and stuff. So we're just gonna testing everything. Oh, thanks, Google. My hydrate is coffee. But before we get off, hi everybody again, and thank you for coming. And yeah, it's been fun. I'm gonna go play Call of Duty now. Bye.